Good day. My name is Joe Leone, and I'm here to do a solo playthrough of Twilight Struggle Red Sea, Conflict in the Horn of Africa. Twilight Struggle is my favorite game. So today we're going to attempt to go through the solo rules and see if I can win as the Soviet Union. It plays very similar to Twilight Struggle. There are a couple of exceptions. Flashpoint countries. Flashpoint countries are not battlegrounds, but if you do a coup, you have to flip over a card to see if it changes DEFCON. Egypt is both part of Africa and part of the Middle East. Another difference is that automatic victory can happen if the player gets to 10 victory points. There's also an automatic victory if the African scoring card comes up and a player controls both Ethiopia and Somalia and a majority of countries in Africa. Okay, here's my opening hand, and the first thing I need to do is pick a headline. I have separatists, famine, Yemeni presidential assassination, Israeli periphery doctrine, the U.S. presidential elections. Ooh, that's effectively defectors for the Russians. Water wars. The lion falters. Okay, so we're going to choose famine as my headline. For the U.S. player, what we're going to do is we're going to draw cards off the top of the mid-war deck until I get a playable headline. So the first one is African scoring. Okay, after looking at the rules, this is not listed on the playable events card. So here are the neutral ones: famine, OAU, Separatist, Air League, Apollo, Indian Ocean, Water Wars. So no, this is not a playable card. So we're going to set it aside and draw another one. I'm playing Russian, so this is not playable. A U.S., Diego Garcia. We see Diego Garcia is not playable as a headline. Arab League. Arab League is playable if the U.S. would score 3 victory points, but he does not have control of the countries. Indian Ocean Zone of Peace. Playable only in actions 7 and 8, so it is not playable. U.S. aid. It is playable as a headline. If it revealed during U.S. action round, shuffle back into the draw deck. Okay, I don't need to do that, so this is his headline. These get shuffled back into, and we look at the ops. The U.S. headline will occur first. Use 1 operation point. If played in a headline phase, the U.S. may also go first in the action round that turn. So, U.S. will go first, and he gets to use 1 operation point. Okay, so we go here. U.S. does not control Flashpoint country. That is not true. Or at least 3 countries in Africa. The African scoring card is not in the discard pile. So, U.S. does not control. Okay, he does control that, so that's fine. USSR has choke point influence. A country adjacent to a battleground country. So, does U.S. adjacent to checkpoint country where you have no influence. So that is not that no. So no choke points because I have hang on a country adjacent to a battle where you have no influence. When DEFCON is 4 or greater, flashpoint countries cannot be choke point countries. Okay, so that's not a choke point country. That's not a choke point country. DEFCON is 3. It is not 3. U.S. military operations is less than DEFCON and acts around 6, 7, or 8. That is not true. Any other condition applies. Play first card in the event card line. I have no event card line. So we're going to place influence. Okay, so we're placing influence. U.S. has influence in Africa. Spaces without U.S. control, there are many of them. 1, 2, 3. Best net real not infected. Afra's scoring card is not in his discard. That's a true, so he's going to go for a flashpoint country. The only flashpoint country that he does not have control of, he cannot reach. Then he's going to go to battle countries, so he's going to put 1 point into Saudi Arabia. And then he's going to get to go first. Now my famine occurs. Place famine markers in 2 adjacent countries. I think it's going to be Ethiopia and Kenya. And make a coup attempt. All right, so I'm going to attempt to coup Ethiopia. Since it is a battleground country, I'm going to flip over this card. This is a 3, so DEFCON status does not change. Since this was a 3, it's going to get shuffled back into the deck. If that was a scoring card, a 1 or a 2, then it would have went to the discard pile. All right, so my strength is 2 plus 1 is 3. I roll a 2, so 4, 5. Minus 2 is 3. Minus 1 is 2. I get 2. Control Ethiopia. This then goes to the discard pile. We remove the famine marker from Ethiopia. Now we go to U.S. Action Round 1. And we're doing this because of the U.S. aid. We'll flip over a card. It is a U.S. event. So it's going to go to the front of the... Okay, the event is associated with the solo opponent superpower or both superpower added to the card line. I've done that. Card RS7. Playable if Ethiopia is USSR controlled. It is a playable card. It goes into the line. Now let's see what he's going to do. U.S. does not control Flashpoint country. That is true. So he's going to play the leftmost event in the card line. That removes influence. Okay, this does not remove influence. He's going to coup. If a 4 would remove all of the influence from a Flashpoint country. So, 4, okay, so that would be a 5. A 5 would remove all of the influence. So that's what you go do. He's going to coup Ethiopia. Now, the solo player will never coup if the possibility of DEFCON goes to 1. This is a 2 card, so this goes to the discard and DEFCON drops to 3. U.S. rolls his coup. It is a 2. Plus 1 is 3. I lose 1 influence. And I forgot Millops. So I got 2 Millops. He got 1 Millop. And this goes, this is in the card line. He has not done that event. He can do that event later. Now it's my turn. We are at DEFCON 3. This is Russian Action 1. Okay, I need to get into Saudi Arabia. We are going to play Soviet airlift Cubans for the ops. I'm going to add one op to Somalia, giving me control of Somalia. And we are going to add two ops to Kenya, giving me control of Kenya. I could not coup Middle East because we are at DEFCON 3. I like that position. All right, now it's a U.S. action round 2. Diego Garcia. Diego Garcia, playable if strategic lanes are not U.S. controlled. So that goes into the line. And the U.S. player does not control a flashpoint country. He's going to play the leftmost event in the card line. That removes USS control of flashpoint country, or changes control of sufficient countries to prevent. This is what he's going to play. So he's going to play this event. Ethiopia is USSR controlled. He's going to gain a victory point. So US goes to 1. Add 1 influence to Ethiopia. And 1 influence to an adjacent country. I'm almost positive he's going to go into Kenya, but let's check. Place influence. No U.S. influence in Africa. He has U.S. influence in Africa. Spaces without U.S. control. There are many of them. So this and this are still possibilities. Well, actually, this is an event, so you can put it in an adjacent country. So these two. Africa scoring is not in it, so he's going to add it to a flashpoint country. Okay, nope, because it has to be an adjacent, so he can't do that. And then he's going to go to a battleground country. So he puts 1 influence in Kenya, and I lose control of Kenya, and the automatic victory is prevented. I'll slide that over, and now it is Russia 2. This is strange. Russia going second. Okay, we're going to play the Lion Falters for the event. This will go get removed from the game. If Ethiopia is USS controlled, gain 2 victory points. I cannot. Otherwise, add 1 U.S. influence and remove all U.S. influence from Ethiopia. So I go back to 2. And I'm going to remove the U.S. influence. And this allows the event of RS-27, so we're just going to set that right there so I don't forget that. All right, U.S. action round 3. It is a card for both. Arab League. Playable if U.S. sports score 3 points. Okay, but it goes into the card line because it's affected by both. And we go back up to here. So we have 2 2 operation points. U.S. does not control flashpoint country. That is a true statement. He has no events that remove or change control. He's going to coup. And we meet the DEFCON requirements. If a 4 would remove all influence. So 4, 5, 6 would remove all influence. So he coups with 2. So he gets 2 mil ops. We check DEFCON status. DEFCON status does drop to 2. And we roll the dice. 5 plus 2 is 7. Minus 2 is 5. Minus 2 is 3. So he gains 3 in Ethiopia. And now it's the Russians' turn 3. So since I don't want to degrade DEFCON, I'm going to play Yemeni presidential assassination for the ops. We're going to add one op to Kenya. That'll give me control. And we are going to add one op to Saudi Arabia. U.S. Action round 4. It is a U.S. event. RS3. It is playable. Playable if USSR controls country adjacent to Ethiopia. I do. And U.S. military operators. Okay, so no, it is not less. It does not have the mill ops, but it still goes in the card line. Okay, so he now controls a flashpoint country. Now, do I have choke point influence? Well, he has access to Kenya. He has there, so no, those are not checkpoint countries. DEFCON is 3. It is not. U.S. military ops are fine. So he is going to play the first playable event in the card line. That does not affect DEFCON. Okay, he can add 2 influence and remove. Okay, Diego Garcia is or is not playable. It is playable if it is not US controlled, so he is going to play this. He's going to add 2 influence to the sea lanes and remove 1 USSR, which I have none. All right, Russian 4. Okay, so he's threatening the sea lanes. Well, I think what we're going to do is play this for the ops, and we're going to put 2 ops in. We're going to put 2 ops in Yemen. Say if they can't do it. And now we go to US 5. Apollo Soyuz, that's an event for both, so it goes in the card line. Okay, US does not control Flashpoint. That is not true. Has choke point influence. No, he has influence there. He has influence there. I don't control that one. DEFCON is 3, and there's isolated. DEFCON is not 3. US military ops are fine. He's going to play the leftmost. Okay, Arab League is playable if he controls 3. No. So we go to this one. Somalia invades Ethiopia. Okay. This is playable if no U.S. controlled countries adjacent to Ethiopia. And U.S. nope, so this is not playable. So he goes to the Apollo Soyuz, which is playable, and he gets an advancement on the space track. USSR 5. I need to try to space Israeli periphery. Because if not, he's going to get that. I don't want that. It does go to space. So I advance 1. He will automatically advance at the end of the round. All right. US 6. French connections. Remove all USS. Okay. So that goes into the line. He controls a flashpoint country. I have no choke point influence. DEFCON is not 3. He is good on mill ops, so he's going to play the leftmost. He can't play that one. He can't play that one because I control Kenya. Remove all USS influence in Djibouti. Okay, I have none. Or Madagascar. I have none. Add 2 US influence to one of those countries. Is this a playable card? Playable if no U.S. influence in one of Kenya. Okay, so he has influence in Kenya. He has no influence in Somalia. Place influence adjacent to that country. So remove all U.S. influence from Madagascar and add 2 U.S. to one of those countries. So now he's going to add, this is playable, so he's going to add 2 to either this one or this one. Play influence. Okay, that is not true. Those are both not U.S. controlled. Flashpoint country, neither one is battlegrounds. Least operations to control, they are the same. Adjacent to a battleground, so Madagascar is where it gets it. He gets 2 influence in Madagascar. And now it is Russian 6. I think I'm going to hold that one. So Water Wars, but I get to play it for the ops. I get +2. I can't realign in Egypt because, or in Middle East because of the DEFCON. That would be a nice realignment. Or I could just stuff 1 in Ethiopia. I think we're just going to stuff 1 in Ethiopia. I'm going to use 2 ops to get 1 in Ethiopia. And then we go to the final round, Hero the Crossing. That's a U.S. event. Okay. He controls Flashpoint. I have no choke point influence. DEFCON is not 3. His mill ops are fine. He's going to play the first playable event. This is not playable. Odin War is not playable because I control Kenya. Hero the Crossing. Discard 1 USSR event. So, Hero the Crossing is 14. It is not playable. So, it would even go here. I'd have to draw a new card. Okay, Strongman of Sudan. That's RS-16. Play if at least 2 influence in Ethiopia and Sudan not controlled. I do not have 2 Ethiopia, so that is not playable. So we go to place influence, and he's going to place influence 1 point of influence. Adjacent to Africa. Nope, he's good. Spaces without U.S. control. Sudan is one that he does not control. Saudi Arabia is one he does not control. The strategic sea lanes he does not control. Okay, but it is in the discard. So he's going to go to a battleground country. So he's going to put a bit into Saudi Arabia. So he takes Saudi Arabia from 2 to 3. He couldn't put it in Kenya because it takes 2 ops to do that. All right, and my final action round. So now one of these will be a hold card, and one of these are a play card. I think we're going to play Detente for the event. The USSR adds 2 to its military ops, and the U.S. subtracts 2. And that goes to the discard. This is the end of the Middle War. So we check mill ops. U.S. only has 1, DEFCON is 2, so I gain 1 victory point. This gets reset. The U.S. goes up 1 on the space track automatically, which gives him 2 victory points. We move the turn to the late war, and DEFCON improves to 3, and we're going to be starting action round 1. So right now, I have presence in the Middle East. The United States has the majority in the sea lanes, and I have, let's see, web domination. because we have the same number of countries. So I have 1 extra point in Africa. Very close game.
I hear the conductor. That means it's time to go. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like and a comment. Until next time, have fun training.